The 7 Steps of Precipitation, Cassiopeia and Minerva. Step 2. It is time now to enter the domain of beloved Cassiopeia and Minerva, beloved Elohim of the second ray, to delve deeply into the understanding of how creation is manifested upon the earth, and how, within this group intention, we can achieve the goals we have set to release the pressure of the Cascadia Zone tectonic plates. I believe that we will need a few days to fully embrace this knowledge and what it means in terms of our chosen desire here. So if at any time anyone wishes to ask any questions, I will do my best to provide the guidance toward the answers. Cassiopeia is the Eloah of wisdom. He governs and directs the God qualities of perception, comprehension, understanding, illumination, and the power of focus, concentrated attention. He is the Eloah of the second ray. His prominent color is yellow or gold. His twin ray Minerva is also known as the goddess of wisdom, and both are also from time to time known as Apollo and Lumina. I do not wish to reinvent any wheel here in the presentation of information, and so once again to keep a very clear, precise, and cohesive observation at the highest resonance possible. I have invited beloved Cassiopeia and Minerva to join me in this presentation for the group. Once again, it is agreed that Cassiopeia's address to Thomas Prince in the 7 Mighty Elohim Speaks is timeless and perfectly aligned to this gathering of a call to grace. So I will simply embody here within the transcripts of our journey together for our understanding and implementation accordingly. Beloved Eloah, Cassiopeia Speaks, Part 1. The vital importance and magnetic power of attention of the second ray. I am Cassiopeia, Elohim of perception and wisdom, Elohim of the concentrated power of attention, without which the mind could conceive and know nothing, here or hereafter. The power of your attention, beloved ones, is the open door to your mind and your entire consciousness. On the beam of your graciously directed attention, I came earthward this morning, bringing in the compass of your sweet planet the energies, the powers, and the light, as well as the wisdom, the understanding, the comprehension, and the perception of the Elohim, which you may choose to accept and use. Later it may be written into the substance of earth and published in printed form through your consecrated energies. In this way all mankind may learn of the activity of the second ray from the aspect of the builders of form, the creators of the universe, and those who work on the second ray with me. Our ray brings illumined understanding of God's divine plan and design, His pattern to the people of earth who open the door through their attention to that pattern and design. Beloved ones, in the outer consciousness, you do not realize yet how powerful a force is your attention. At this time, the attention of the cosmic beings, the ascended masters, the angelic host, and the devas have been directed toward the planet Earth by the godparents of the system, because of the great need and requirement of the hour. This need is to awaken those interested to an understanding of Earth's place in our solar system, and of the requirements of the current hour for her redemption and eternal victory in the light. That cosmic attention, which is a beam of directed, concentrated light, looking not unlike the searchlight beam, that concentrated beam of energy from the intelligence of the perfected beings is now playing upon the planet Earth and has aroused the sleeping spiritual centers within yourself, as well as within the more advanced and developed of the sons and daughters of men. This cosmic beam has awakened your consciousness and spiritual self, the immortal flame within your heart, from the soul sleep of the ages, and has caused a stir within you, a desire to return to your celestial home. The planet Earth is presently in a state of cosmic incubation, and the beams of intelligent energy, which you call cosmic light, are really light-love substance, consciously directed to the Earth by the attention of cosmic beings upon her. One of these beams is the golden flame of divine illumination from the hearts of certain of the hierarchy, which has been directed to this earth for some time. As a ray of illumination has continued to play upon the earth, and as the attention of the advanced members of the race has begun to reach out toward God, the returned current of the attention of the mankind of earth to heaven made this circuit complete. We have loved and watched over you for so long. Our attention has been upon you for a much longer period of time than your attention has been upon us. Through our attention to you has flowed our love and holy desire to help stimulate you to a point where you'd begin the search for spiritual truth, where you'd begin to realize that the playthings of the senses no longer gratified, So you have discovered that the ordinary course of living and dying, as well as satisfying the personal nature, was not enough. Then your attention began to turn again toward your source, and even the most feeble beam of that attention, connecting with your source, brought in response a greater outpouring of divine love and light from above. Now we come to the great cosmic hour where your conscious attention is drawn to various members of the hierarchy, according to a perfectly designed plan. Presented by Lord Maitreya, the great world teacher, Lord Maitreya has since become the new Buddha. Beloved Jesus and Kuthumi now are serving jointly as new world teacher, in cooperation with beloved Saint Germain, beloved El Morya, and beloved Kuthumi. As your attention is turned toward the hierarchy, as the names and activities of various beings are brought to your mind's eye, so does your attention become a magnet which draws from the octaves of perfection certain beings, certain activities of the sacred fire, and certain God intelligences who use your life through the beam of your attention to enter into the lower atmosphere of earth for the blessing of mankind. Without your attention upon us, there is little we could do for you. Your conscious directed attention through your songs, visualizations, contemplations, and your mighty decrees made it possible for the archangels to break the silence of the ages. Now they have also made it possible for those of us who represent the builders of this universe to enter into the atmosphere of earth. So now I say to you in sincerity and with deep love and devotion, God bless you for your continued attention upon us through the years, forming the magnet which has drawn us into this atmosphere today. God bless you for your attention upon the power of God, which attention draws more and more of that power into the lower atmosphere of earth, blessing all life. When speaking to you recently, the beloved Hercules told you that the first activity of creation is the making of a personal decision to do. No activity takes place on earth or in heaven until the intelligence with free will decides, within himself, to will to do and to accomplish. In the creation of the solar system, when the beloved Helios and Vesta, God and Goddess of our physical sun and godparents of the system, willed to manifest the planets of this system and the evolutions which would someday achieve the victory of their ascension from those planets, when these beings so willed within themselves, the beloved Hercules summoned us, the seven mighty Elohim. He asked us if we desired to cooperate in bringing forth the planets of the system, and as one we said, we will so to do. We desire so to do. It is our voluntary decision. Following the activity of desiring to do the will of God, to cooperate and use our own voluntary energies in externalizing these glorious planets, my service came to the foreground. My activity is that of perceiving what the godparents had designed and wanted to have made manifest. The purpose of the second ray is the perception and active, illumined contemplation of the God-plan and design. After you will to serve God, after you have made the decision and the surrender to the will of God in the secret place of your own heart, then you must receive the divine idea, the direction as to how to manifest it, that portion of the God plan which your own Christ self would have you formulate and externalize. In exactly the same manner, we, the Elohim, whose service to life, mind you, is constantly creating planets, stars, suns, mighty foci of light, had to become still enough to put aside the constant activity of creation in our own minds and feelings, to be able to know what Helios and Vesta desired. Therefore, the first activity of the mental body, after making the decision to do, is to become still, to stop the creative process in honor of and in homage to the gods being concerned, or to one's own God self, and to look upon the pattern and plan of one superior. In your case, this would be your Christ self and the ascended Master who is working with you. In our case, it was the God-parents of the system. Think for a moment of the power of creation which was vested in Hercules. Every star in the Milky Way was created through the will to do, by the consciousness of that great being Hercules, and you have no count of their number. Yet in the presence of Helios and Vesta, while stars and planets were yet evolving out of his mind and feelings, his first activity was to stop the motion of his creative centers and look upon the light patterns of the planets, held within the bosom of the silent watcher. Placed there by the God-parents, it was the same with each one of us, I holding the golden beam of perception for us all. Looking upon the divine plan of Helios and Vesta, we were enabled then to decide within ourselves how each one of the 7 of us might best contribute to wealth, momentum, and strength of our own particular rays, to externalize perfectly the pattern of the God-parents. We did not choose to change it according to our own design, but gave freely of our life in illumined, humble obedience to make of this solar system the most glorious and perfect manifestation ever known. Now, beloved hearts, your mental body was created for just such a purpose. Your mental body was created to be a magnetic field, through the power of your attention, to draw into itself divine ideas from your Christ self, or from some ascended master who has taken particular interest in you and uses you as a part of himself in the world of form. There are many individuals incarnate today who have voluntarily chosen to become partners here with an ascended master, a brother working in one of the etheric cities, or someone of great light who is working at inner levels between embodiments. Although the latter are not incarnated on earth at this time, they can and will lower into the mental body of the incarnate life stream, so willing, certain ideas which have been perfected at inner levels. Through the concentrated beam of his attention, the brother from the inner realm will hold that pattern within the mind of the receiving one until his own feelings, physical energies, and good common sense, coupled with consecutive rhythm of decree and invocation, can externalize it. These masters, brothers, and unascended, working at inner levels, to whom we have referred above, are dependent upon the reception into the mental body of the embodied one, of their beam of light through his attention upon them, or the idea which they are trying to manifest through him. Your Christ self is likewise dependent upon the reception into your mental body of the directions which would naturally arise from the golden plum of the threefold flame within your heart into your brain consciousness. Your Christ self should be the directing presence of your every outer expression. The normal, natural activity of the human self is to completely rest in the serenity and control of the flame within the heart, the threefold flame of love, pink, wisdom, gold, and power, blue. The golden flame of wisdom carries within itself the directions of the Christ self to the outer consciousness, and should be constantly in control of the mental vehicle, constantly precipitating into it the divine ideas which the Great Ones chose to channel through you. When those ideas come, it is the responsibility of the mental body to hold them clear enough and long enough for the feelings to breathe into them life, breathe into them love, breathe into them enthusiasm, and through the pressure of light externalize them into the world of form as manifest substance. I encourage you all as you begin to understand the specific part of the second step to precipitation, for here you are being given an opportunity to open to a greater awareness of your God-given powers to create and manifest upon the out planes that which is the individualized expression of God's plan through you. If there are any questions, call upon the second ray activities, and we shall answer with love and divine joy. I am Cassiopeia in your service. Bless you, beloved Cassiopeia. We are grateful for your communication and love to share with us. Dear Call to Grace, there is a lot to assimilate here within Cassiopeia's address, and so I am feeling that it is best to allow some time for it to permeate our being. We are not creating planets here, and yet our assignment is to clear on a planetary scale, to alleviate the pressure of the tectonic plates within the Cascadia zone. Let us then look upon the divine plan and see how each person in a group responds to this calling to be still within the Christ itself. This will unfold as the next steps are entered into. All is appropriate within the heart of the Christ within. Beloved Eloa Cassiopeia Speaks, Part 2. The need for purifying the mental body. Now, wherefore do you fall short of this? I will tell you, beloved friends. Your mental bodies, which are supposed to be these clear magnetic fields of conscious energy, are so filled with the accumulated concepts of millions of years of living that the divine idea have no place to take root. You have seen a plowed field in the springtime, with the earth newly turned, waiting for the seed to be planted, which will bring forth a harvest in its time. You have seen a field which has not been so cultivated, but instead is filled with weeds, waist high. You know that should seed be sown in such a field, there would be very little within that field to nourish and bring to harvest of fruition. This is the condition of the mental bodies of the race in general today. Instead of being ready to receive and develop the divine ideas from the Christ self, like the plowed open field, receptive to and desiring to do that will alone. Mankind's mental bodies, through their attempts to satisfy the appetites of the senses, have been sown with tars, weeds, and every conceivable human concept. Therefore the Christ self, through the threefold flame in the heart, the great masters of wisdom and those who seek to reach mankind through their mental bodies, do not find, even among the conscious chelas, that open, receptive, pure, consecrated, and concentrated, upheld chalice of mind into which to plant that divine idea. Your mental body receives through your attention and through all the activities of the senses. Everything your attention connects with, good or otherwise, draws back into the mental body, a picture and form into your mind. If it be discord, whether you see it, hear it, feel it, or whether you draw it through any of the activities of the sense consciousness, that discord enters the mental body and adds to the accumulation which is there. The mental bodies of mankind are like an old warehouse in which has been stored the furniture and accumulation of the ages. They are full of cobwebs and discordant human concepts, as well as much that is petrified and some of which is in the process of disintegration. In the course of an average lifetime, mankind accepts, hit or miss, from the atmosphere, from the current religion of the day, from the educational system of the time, from the parents to whom he or she is born, from the race to which he or she belongs, from the history which he or she reads, certain pictures which add to this conglomerate mass in the mental body. Through the qualification by the consciousness and the experience of each lifetime, the energies of each successive embodiment kept pushing backward into the past accumulations of the mental body, which consist of all that has been previously recorded. Through this conglomerate mass we endeavor to drive perhaps just one grain of truth. Into this, from time to time, we endeavor to plant perhaps just one seed, and hope it will be nourished and grow. Beloved hearts of light, when you first received your mental bodies from the heart of creation, they were so pure and beautiful. They were like the crystal ball which the fortune tellers use, unfortunately, may we say, to magnetize the pattern of the future for you. However, in their original purity, those crystal balls of light signified the conditions of the mental body, which received from the Christ self the clear, concise, beautiful ideas of perfection. Then the outer self, perceiving that idea, realized that it came from God and it was given into the keeping of its mental body, to be nourished by the feelings developed in beauty and internalized in form. Now we must bring you again to that state that requires the purification of your mental vehicle from ages and ages of imperfect accumulation. The great golden flame from my heart is given to you freely to render this service for yourself. Even as I am speaking to you today, I am passing my flame through the brain consciousness of every member of this race incarnate and all those who are yet awaiting opportunity to embody. Please let go. Let go of your human concept of the ages. Ah, beloved hearts, truth is a discomforting presence. So many of mankind seeking knowledge, wisdom, education, seek only confirmation of their own concepts. In all honesty, have you ever noticed yourself when reading a book or paper, how you love to come upon that which confirms something which you hold dear within your own conscious mind that connects you to the past? Do you know how disconcerting it is when a new idea is driven at you and disturbs the peace of your concepts? Beloved one, it is not the service of perfected beings to confirm any human concept. It is our service to bring you pure, uncolored, cosmic truth, which if applied will give you your eternal freedom. The men and women of open mind are those who, receiving into the mental body the key to freedom, apply it and walk upon the pathway of light into their eternal victory. Well, we take you just where you stand. First and most necessary for those who are to become the way showers for mankind is the stilling of the mental body. When we enter a room and we look upon the eagerness of the chelas to understand, the first thing that is noticeable is the motion of the inner bodies. Mankind in the West do not know how to become still in an alert, awakened anticipation, which is not lethargy, sluggishness, nor a negative consciousness. Before we can begin to assist you, our endeavor is to pass the flame and ray from our own consciousness through your mind and feelings. Thus, we at least to a certain extent are able to still the agitation in your thoughts and feelings to a point where we can pierce through and anchor into your minds perhaps just one idea, which you may take home, nourished by contemplation, and bring to fruition. Have you noticed as we come again and again how little you retain of what we say? How much of what we offer you is put into actual application? Yet you are far above the average conscience of mankind today. You are those through whom we hope to reach the masses. The first requisite, then, to manifest a divine idea is the stilling of the mental body and a desire to perceive the will of God. The next requisite is purification of your mental body, so that all the shadows and discordant concepts, all of the human logic and reason do not intrude upon the purity of the divine pattern as it comes into the mental body from God. This purity protects the divine idea so that it is not dissolved or literally devoured by the many human concepts which have been living there from the past. Then, as you are able to perceive that design in its purity, the next requisite is the concentration of your energies upon it so that it may be externalized. The mental body is twofold. It is the receptive consciousness into which the pattern comes. Then it is perceived, accepted, and when it has been grounded in the mind, the great creative power of the mental body begins to act in a controlled, channeled, and rhythmic manner. It creates around the seed idea, the form thereof, cutting out of universal light and love substance, the pattern which is necessary to enable that form to become a manifest expression. Then the mental body summons the feelings and asks the light thereof to flood through that thought form, rhythmically until that form is filled and lowered into etheric love substance. From the etheric love substance it is lowered into precipitate, manifest form. The rhythm and uniformity of the nourishment of your pattern and design will determine the speed of its manifestation. It will also determine the quality of your thought externalized, will determine how long it will live in this world of form, and will also determine the blessing which such a precipitation will bring to the rest of this race. Beloved ones, will you please begin to follow through this science of precipitation? Manifest each day some conscious, externalized idea you have received from the heart of the Father, Mother. And you must begin this conscious training. When beloved Saint Germain brought to you some time ago the activity of the elementals as the power of creating form, the activity of the angels as the power of vitalizing form with feeling, the activity of humanity as a power of magnetizing thought and feeling, thus acting as the bridge to externalize it into the world of manifest expression. He did so with the hope that by giving you the knowledge of the exact science of creation, you would then have confidence in your own capacity to do these things yourself. Then in the confidence, faith, and conviction that this science of creation is not just accidental, but that it is mathematically accurate and scientifically applicable for all mankind, you become the law incarnate. They will be accepted on works. You are the teachers of the new day. Believe me, the teachers of the new day will not be accepted on words alone. They will be accepted on works. You are the chosen of the brothers and sisters of the golden robe who, in illumined obedience, are to carry this law to mankind. How can you convey the truth of the law to others if you do not know how to prove it? However, prove it you can. You have a holy Christ self, and you accept that in the abstract, this Christ self has access to all the kingdom of heaven, to all of the seven spheres. This Christ self is endeavoring to externalize through you the perfection of those seven spheres, according to your particular part in the divine plan. I am Cassiopeia in your service, and it is so. End of Lesson 2.